Here we are, troops, morning, another day, another river, and we're out nice and early trying to break this losing streak. And it hasn't been an auspicious start. Setting up, as I was casting out my left hand rod, my third rod, I disturbed sank in the margins. I thought, I wonder what it is, and up it popped, an otter. Swam to the other side of the river, so straight away this swim could well be compromised. It could be devoid of any fish at all. What it hasn't eaten, it was scared off. So I was going to go to a different venue this morning, one I haven't fished before, but I was up so early and ready, I didn't want to set up on a new venue in the dark, plumbing, getting the lie of the land, etc. So I shall fish this swim until midday. If I haven't had any joy, I shall go to my alternate venue. It's a gutter. Yeah. It must have been bedded up for the night in the reed bed, the otter, and as I stood on the reeds to cast out, up it popped. Absolutely gutted. I haven't seen much indication of otter predation along the banks, but such a vast amount of water and vast amount of bank to cover, you wouldn't know really. So here we are, let's make the best of it. Look at that view. And there is my right hand rod. All the way down to my right. That's 7 foot of water there. That's a whole sardine, static dead, on a size 4 curved hook. The reason I chose this swim, just to the right there is a little drain. So with the extra water in the rivers flowing down, pumping out, you got the water from the drain pumping out, and it's provided a little bit of slack water there. So I'm on the end of it, so hopefully they'll be attracting not only the prey fish but the pike. Middle rod, it's just flicked out in the margins for now till it gets light. That's a whole herring. It's about 10 inches long, probably might even be closer to 12. It's a big old herring, but I like a big bait out. And the left hand rod, $10–20 meters upstream, is half a herring, the tail end. So I've got 3 baits in the water. It's a glorious morning. Apart from not seeing that bloody fish eating machine first thing this morning. What a glorious day to be out. As I say, we're on a run of 7 blanks on the bounce. Don't want this to be the 8th. So I'm up nice and early, full of pep, full of beans. I'm raring to go. Let's jump into this. Let's get some pike on the bank for a change. Morning troops. Oh, as you saw, up bright and early on the local river. We got a otter problem. I'm not going to let it get me down. I mean, it's come out this morning full of beans, chipper, hoping to catch some pike. Been a terrible run. So a lovely flock of birds just gone past. Yeah, so yeah, where was I? Distracted by nature as always. Yeah, so I'm full of beans, determined to break this blanking streak. Oh, so I was going to fish another river this morning, but I had a look at it, and I like the look of it, so I might go back this afternoon if I don't have any joy here. But I didn't want to start setting up in the dark on a unknown venue. Didn't want to waste time. Didn't want to. Because you're gonna have. I would have had to have plumbed all around, because it's quite a fast river. So I would have had to have plumbed all around, looking for the shallows, looking for the deeps, looking for the slacks. All that in the dark it's hard work. I would have had to have waited till it's like now, nearly 8 o'clock, till it got light to do all that sort of work. So that would have been an hour and a half of fishing lost, or an hour. Yeah, so I've driven up to my local stretch on the Witham, so I'm hoping to break this streak. I've seen that otter straight away. I put a dampener on it a little bit, but not too much. I mean, the rods are well presented. As always, before it gets light, I like to flick all 3 rods in the margins. So will there be anything in the margins with that bloody furry beast under there? I don't know. So they're in at the moment. I'm going to give it another 10-15 minutes. They've been in about 20 minutes, half hour. Going to give them a little while first, and then I'll move them around, see if I can find some fish. And so I've got a drain down to the right hand side. I can see there's water flowing out of that a little bit. It's causing a bit of a slack, a bit of an eddy. So I should fish just off the edge of that with my right hand rod. My middle rod is in the margins at the moment. That doesn't have any joy in the next 10-15 minutes. That's going to go out mid-channel. My left hand rod I can move around different distances, different lengths away, so it's got plenty of water to fish at. Lovely day, it looks like it's going to be. It's only 6 degrees at the moment. I say only, for January. 8 o'clock in the morning, 6 degrees is quite pleasant, isn't it? So it's not a bad day. It's going to get up to about 10. It's going to be quite sunny and bright though, but the water's got a nice colour to it, so brightness shouldn't put them down. I mean, there's no logic to it at the moment. Perfect conditions I ain't catching, terrible conditions I ain't catching. So perseverance is the key in this. If I'm having a good look around, are there any cormorants or any great crested grebes, herons, things like that around that feed on the prey fish? If the prey fish are there, then the pike will be there. So scanning the water all the time. You can see anything on the drive up here. If this doesn't produce no move, I shall move slowly and drive slowly, and I shall be keeping my beady eyes open for signs of activity, signs of fish, because they are in here. It's just, where are they? Where they move to. I was hoping here with the slack water, but we'll soon find out. Oh, and here we go. Oh no! Come off of the net. Oh, that waiting for a blinking run. First run of the year. It was a good one. It felt good. Keeping very low, very heavy. It was a nice fish. And a hook pull, just that, oh well. That's gone. New bait, straight back on the same spot. Hopefully I haven't spooked it. Probably have, but you never know. You know, I've lost count of the amount of times where I've lost a fish, put a bait back out, and it's come back and taken the other one. So hopefully we'll be back in. But what a gutter! But because got the old blood pumping. There's pike here. Well, there was one pike here. That was a blinking good one. So we're off to a good start-ish. There's a good start. You're getting a run, you're hooking a fish. That's all good. Losing it, not so good. But at least that's cheered me up a bit. So let's crack on. Well, we're nearly 2 hours into the session. We've had one on and lost it at the net, sadly. Oh, that's lovely. Hot coffee. Can't beat it on the bank, can you? Yeah, so it's I don't know, it's been a strange old start to the year for me now. I've had 7 blanks since December. Didn't have a fish during December. January started pretty much the same way. A couple of videos back, my 60-inch oval brolly collapsed on my head. You saw that, didn't you? So, and then today, one of me Nash Siren S5s, the entry level ones, but they're a special edition. They're purple. They're not a normal red, or I think it's red and green they do, but yeah, this one's purple. These ones are purple. I've got a set of 3 of them. Anyway, one of them, the speaker stopped working, so I've got my faithful Fox Micron on one of my rods. It's one of those things. They weren't dear. I think they're about 20 quid each, aren't they? Something like that. And some places you can get them as little as 17 quid. But my purple ones, they were a limited edition. So, yeah, the speakers just stopped working. I've had them since they were launched. So I don't know how long that is. Somewhere between 5 and 10 years. I don't know. I don't know how long they were launched. But I've had them since they were launched. And they take a hell of a lot of abuse. You know what I mean? Snow, rain, freezing temperatures. I'm out every winter and I use them all the time, and so they've been really good value for money then. So yeah, it was one of the speakers went, so that's gone in the bin. And then so my brolly collapsed on me. We ain't had a fish. It's a run of bad luck at the moment. But one we had this morning felt good. So what I've done, I've had to move around, boosted them up with oil. My right hand rod, I've walked down the bank and I've placed the dead bait 10-20 foot from the mouth of the tiny little drain that's running out into it. It's a little bit deeper there, so I've got that placed, and then of course take the bail arm off and walk the rod back. That way I've placed it in I mean, I could cast there, but there's a sardine, and if you're casting that far with sardines, chances are you're going to damage them. Especially the way I have fish with them hair rigged. So yeah, that was placed in there. The middle rod, not had a touch since I lost that fish on there, and the left hand rod not a touch. So, but they've all been boosted with oil now, and I'm going to leave them. So my normal tactic is every half hour, 40 minutes, reposition. I'm going to leave them all for an hour. I'm not going to touch them. Just going to leave them and see if that changes anything. I don't know if it will. It probably won't. The pike's going to find them. They're going to find them. Whether it takes them half hour or an hour, it don't really matter, does it? My logic is for the recasting regular. Even if you're putting it in the same spot, you're making a splash, you're causing a commotion, the fish is dropping through the water, and the pike will see that, if the pike happens to be coming past, he'll see that fish dropping through the water, might follow it down, might pique a bit of interest. So that's the reason why I do it. Other people, a lot younger than me and a lot more mobile, will up sticks and move every half hour, 40 minutes to a different swim, and leapfrog the river. But those days for me are long gone. So, I have to set my traps and wait for the fish to come to me these days. That's the way I do it. Anyway, but we haven't had a great start to the year, but it's another lovely day. There's a bit of cloud now, so it's not bright sunshine. The water, although still pumping through a little bit, is not as bad as the other day. The other day and the day, last two sessions I've had on here, what's happened is your gear stays in the water fine, you can hold bottom, but all that very fine green silt and weed comes down the river, and all of a sudden you've got it all up your line. So you got to reel in every 15-20 minutes, clean your line, recast. None of that's coming down today, so it is a hell of a lot cleaner and clearer. Holding bottom a lot better as well. When I was going further out, the last two sessions, it was that powerful, it would bump the float back into the drop off, But everything's good, at the moment. Everything's spot on for a fish, he says. Blanking again. So, we're going to sit tight, have a nice cup of coffee, and we'll watch the world go by, catch a few pike together. If you haven't subscribed and you're a regular viewer, why don't you hit that little subscribe button? Really helps the channel grow. Doesn't cost you anything. Won't annoy you. You won't get notifications, anything like that, unless you want to. So, would appreciate it. Thank you. Alright, let's catch you some pike. Afternoon troops, I think it is just afternoon, just midday. I've moved swims. Had that one initial run first thing and nothing, so what I've done is I was chucking a lure around. I know the dark side, huh? No joy. But I moved down the bank only 25-30 metres, and there's a lot more features here for me to fish to. There's a big bed of Norfolk reed down on the right hand side I can cast to. I've got an outlet or inlet, whatever you want to call it, for the drain. I've got some slack water, and I've still got the reed bed I was fishing in front of before. So I've got some extra features to fish to. Hopefully some extra options of catching a pike today. It's I did say this morning I was going to move and go to a different venue, but you've if I'd say I've packed up half 11, got there at 12, and all of a sudden there ain't a swim, you know what I mean? There's not that many swims along there, and there's a couple of guys fishing, I'm stuffed. I've got to be trying, then I've got to rush around trying to find somewhere else. So I've gone for what I think's a better swim. Proof's in the pudding. Hopefully this move, just a subtle change, you know, only 25 metres, but it could be a big difference to the outcome of the day. That's what I'm hoping. So I've gone for it. I'll show you the swim and see what you think. Is he wasting his time, or is he going to catch? Oh, I think it's the latter. I hope it's the latter. I'm praying it's the latter. Oh, I need a fish now. You know, 2023 is a peak of a year for me so far. I need a fish. I don't know what to say. You just seen that. I've had 2 runs. That was an hour. Second run you just seen that. That was an hour ago. I've been crying. No, it's starting to prey on my mind a little bit. That was about an hour ago. I had a run. Again it was on. Again hook pull. Now I'm very meticulous about my hooks. If they're not sharp, I just bin them and do a new trace, or resharpen them on the bank. You know, I don't mess around with blunt hooks. So that's twice I've had hook pull today. I've changed all the rigs, made up 3 new traces, brand new spanking out the packet hooks. Don't think it was that, but you know, when you're on a run like this, everything plays on your mind a little bit. So all the rigs have been brought in, changed, back out, identical setup, extra sharp hooks, and we go again. On the right hand rod I got an eel section, the middle rod again, it was the middle rod with the large 10-inch herring that went, and the left hand rod I got sardine on. I've just boosted them up with oil. So before the last hour I've been tying traces and changing all the rigs. It's 3 o'clock. I ain't got much daylight left. I'm going to sit here till blinking midnight. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't know. I've had 2 cracking runs today. Should have been 2 definite decent fish on the bank. First one was a big one. I know it was. Second one, couldn't tell. Weren't on long enough. But, you know, I don't care if they're jacks or 20s. It's losing them's a gutter. You know, you're on a barren run like I am, and then you get 2 runs in a day and you hook pull both of them. Not good. So I know what you're all going to say. You're going to say, well then you got to bin them single hooks and go back to trebles. If you had trebles on, you would have landed them. That may be true, but that's the route I've gone down. I'd rather go down the ultra safe, fish friendly rigs that I believe you know, there'll be plenty of people out there who'll say single circle hooks or single curved hooks are not safe. There, you know, they can damage the fish's mouth and all. There's arguments, pros and cons for both. All I know is, since I've been using them, I haven't had one deep hooked fish, not one. I've not had to use any unhooking tools. I've not even seen one bit of claret, nothing. Perfectly strong hook holes taken out with thumb and index finger. Now, the opposite argument is, if you're not catching bugger all, then you ain't got a problem unhooking them, have you? So It's a tough one to date. You know, this year so far has been a hard pill to swallow, and then kicking the teeth, really is, losing two like that. So they're in. I'm going to pour myself a cup of coffee, think about how troubled my life is. It could be worse. Yeah, I mean, I could be in a position where I can't go out, and I know there's a lot of you that watch that can't go out due to health reasons or whatever. So, you know, shouldn't act like it's the end of the world. It feels like it at a time, and you know, but I've got enough chins. I can take it on the chins. You know, it's you just got to plod on. As I keep saying every video, you've just got to keep plodding on. Do what you know what's right, and everything will come good. So we're gonna go. I don't know what time. I don't know what time. Missus is gonna phone me up soon and say, "What time you be home?" I ain't got a clue. You know, I mean, I've had 2 runs. That means there's fish here. Now, do I run out of time and pack up as it's getting dark, or do I wait and fish into the evening? Go up, fish up to about 6, 7 o'clock, hoping to catch one in the dark. I don't know yet. I'll make my mind up as it comes, but at the moment, cup of coffee, some coconut rings. They're my biscuits of choice today, coconut rings, and I'm going to contemplate on what I can do to catch a pike. Well, yeah, here we go, folks. It's that time of day, pitch black. Strung it out as long as I could. 2 runs all day. First one was a nice decent fish, lost it. It was big. It was a 20, there's no doubt about that. It was big, it was heavy, kept low. Hook pull as I was getting the net ready. Absolutely gutted. Second one in the afternoon, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Same bait, whole herring, sorry. I almost said half. Whole herring, about 10 inches long. And that was a good run. I had it on for a little while. Impossible to tell what size it was. I don't know. So if I said I've lost 2 big ones, I'd be lying. The first one was a decent fish. Second one, I ain't got a clue what it was, weight-wise. So, kicking the teeth again. I know you're going to say I should go back to trebles, but I'm not. I'm going to stick at it. I've made my mind up, and I was thinking about it this afternoon, and you know, I've made this decision and I'm going to stick with it. You might say it's foolish, but you know, you live and die by your own decisions, don't you? But so we've only had 2 runs this year, and we've missed them both. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed for more blanks, and I'll see you soon.